Hey, so I went to see the movie Sinners, and as a Kingdom citizen, I say that it is a good movie, depending on the perspective that you see it in. Me as a Kingdom citizen, of course, before we do anything, we gotta pray before we go watch a movie or anything, because the Bible do tell you to trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not with your own understanding, and all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. So I was seeking direction, and the direction that it brought me to is, yeah, go watch the movie, but it depends on the perspective that you see it in, and are you seeing the revelation in there about sinning? You get what I'm saying? It is a teachable movie to teach somebody about sin and how far sin go and what kind of sins are in there. You get what I'm saying? Going from the protagonist, the brothers, Stack and Smoke, and the antagonist, Remick, all right, which was the Irish man that was in there that was taking them through the manipulation and trying to get them to be a part of the family. You could learn a lot. What I seen in the movie and what God pointed out to me was idolism, all right? Idolization, idolatry. God want us to pray for every movie and everything we do. Now, with some people, God is going to tell them, don't go watch it. With some people, God is going to tell them, you can watch it. God go according to your heart and what type of person you are. So if another person is watching it, that means God know their heart. If God telling you not to watch it, that means God know your heart. It's just like certain things in the world, God tell certain people they can do a thing, and God tells certain people they can't do a certain thing. So never look at a person and judge them just because they do a thing or they don't do a thing. It's reasons behind that. Okay. And so, but to get more into it, Stacks, Smokes, Sammy, Delta Slim, Remick, Annie, Perline, Mary, they all was in sin because of their idolism. So for those who haven't seen the movie, you might want to come back and watch this so you can see it from a different perspective and see the revelation in it. Even though Smoking Stacks was the protagonist, they wanted Sammy. Sammy was the main key to all that whole mess that was going on. They wanted Sammy. How do you know this? Because Remy, the antagonist, the villain, not Remy, but Remick, the antagonist, the villain, they wanted Sammy. They liked it, his gift. He even said he heard him from far away. This is what drawn him to the juke joint. All right. And and all of the people came to come see him at the juke joint. They wanted Sammy because his music is captivating and he had a gift that was undeniable. And they also came to see Delta Slim also, but mainly they wanted to see Sammy. All right. So Sammy, he had that gift. All right. What made Sammy a sinner? Even though he was the preacher boy, what made him a sinner? Because he idolized his gift and he idolized the music. How do we know that? Because he even sung about it in the music, right? Not only in the juke joint, he sung about it, how he loved it so much and how he's kind of turning his back on God because he loved the blues so much and he loved his gift and everything like that. Even in the beginning of the movie, right, you see the father telling him what's more important than God. You know, you shouldn't be going to go do that. He even told him, look, I'm a grown man. I'm going to do what I want to do. Right. And that's when he told him, hey, you know what I'm saying? One day you're going to go out there and the devil going to follow you back home. Ryan Coogler also showed how Sammy worshiped and idolized blues music and placed it before God, which is the reason why Remick wanted Sammy. He saw use for Sammy, looking to use him like the Pied Piper, which will make it easier to get the people, to captivate the people, get them mesmerized by the music, so that way it'll make it easier to be able to turn them into vampires and almost like being born again into the family through killing them and turning them into vampires. Sammy also worshiped the music and his gift so much that he was willing to die for it and didn't care that other people died behind what caused the vampires to come to the juke joint in the first place. So how do we know that Sammy was willing to die for it? First, when he was talking to Smoke, he was telling him, look, man, I feel alive tonight. You know, I'm trying to go to Chicago, which out there they play Chicago blues. He wanted to go out there and do that blues music. And he wanted to go to Chicago. Smoke said, look, man, ain't nothing out there. You need to stay home. He said, I'm a man. I'm going to do what I want to do. Next thing you know, Smoke pulled out his gun. See, he tried to commit suicide almost like 2 times. He pulled out his gun because he said, listen, you're going to have to kill me because I ain't finna stop. And he stood on that. He stood on what he said. All right. And so Smoke, I guess he saw how serious he was and he put the gun away. That's the first one. On Sammy's second suicide attempt, what happened was pretty much Stack was outside and his girl was outside because they turned into vampires. Remick came to the door and he told all the people in there, Annie and Smoke, he told them, listen, all we want is Sammy. We don't want nobody else. We want that gift. We want what he got. Next thing you know, Sammy was so into what Remick was saying, which was the villain, which was the head vampire. He was so into it, he was willing to give his life to it. He started walking up to the door and Smoke stopped him. You know what I'm saying? So he was willing to give his life behind it. Wasn't thinking like, oh, maybe I should stop playing this music and go back to church and do like Smoke said. Instead, he was willing to die behind it and be used by these vampires. So he wasn't thinking about that. All he was thinking about is his music, and he was thinking about taking his life for it because he wasn't going to give it up like he said in the beginning. That's the second one. Another reason how we knew that Sammy was willing to die is because in the scene when Sammy went back to the church, even though he went through all that hell and looked like he went through hell when he went back to the church, the head of the guitar symbolized him not giving up all the type of music that caused all the pain, suffering, and death that he went through. All right. How do we know he didn't want to give it up? And why it showed that is because the father already knew what was going on. So he told him to give it up, son. Put down the guitar, son. Put it down. And he still didn't put it down, even though that he knew that evil is attracted to it. And he knew that if he keep going down the path, he might run back into vampires again. I talk about Sammy because that's mainly who the vampires wanted, because of his love and how much he idolized his gift. At the end of the day, all of them idolized something. Annie, it was hoodoo. Smoke, it was money. Stack, it was money. Delta Slim, it was drinking. Mary, it was Stacks, because she put him before anything. She was willing to follow him. And all of these things make them sinners because they put it before God. And being without God is death. And just like the Bible say, the wages of sin is death. You get paid death if you sin. The vampires represent demons. And just like the vampires in the movies, demons are attracted to death, right? So when we sin, we have death on us, right? And demons try to take authority over anything that have death, because you have no authority without God.